I'm current president of the Northwest Business Association. So proud to have this honor. I grew up in the community. My father had a business, his first business on the corner of Donnelly Hollowell and Holly Street. Then he moved the business to Donnelly Hollowell and South Eugenia on the corner. This is all I know. I went to Douglas, but I knew more about West Fulton than I did Douglas because I was around my father's business a lot, which was in the community. So I'm excited to see all your faces. Happy New Year, related to ones I didn't see. You know, our mission is quite simple, and that is to help businesses to develop economic growth and be sustained in that along the Donnelly corridor. Any kind of way we can make that happen, that's what we try to do. I wanted to take this time in the spirit of February being, and matter of fact, Monday is the last day of February. I want to take this time to give a Black History moment. I want to read this to you as someone that's local, but I wanted all of us to know who this person is and to give our, introduce you to her later, but to give honor to her. And I'll start off, it's the Black History moment is Miss Sonja Lawson. Miss Lawson originally is from Chattanooga, Tennessee, moved to Atlanta in 1959 to attend Clark College, which is now Clark Atlanta University, on a full scholarship. She later attended Woodrow Wilson Law School for 1 year. She started her teaching career in 1963, in which she taught private and public sector. In 1966, she accepted a teaching position at Harger Brooks Academy. Now, if you're from Atlanta, you would know Harger Brooks Academy, but it was on then High Tower, now Donnelly Hollowell, just right at the, I think it's Baker Ridge, dead end right into Harger Brooks Academy. She was in the education field for over 20 years. Last 3 years, she served the position of assistant principal before she retired in 1990. She continued, even though she retired from education, she just moved to something else. She continued to grow the family business with her late husband, Willie H. Lawson, who passed away in July 2007. That business still is there, Lawson Automotive Center, presently located at 2664 Donnelly Hollowell Parkway, and has been serving the community since 1972. With her help in 1994, Lawson Automotive Center received an Empowering Minority Business Award for Special Entrepreneur of the Year, which was presented in the name of both her and her husband's name. Now, the fun part for me, in that same year, November, matter of fact, Ms. Lawson was one of 7 business owners that formed and incorporated the Bankhead Business Association, which later became Northwest Business Association in 2006. Not only did she help put it together, but she devoted her time as secretary in both organizations from 1994 through 2018. And even after experiencing setbacks in a period where opportunities were limited at best, Ms. Lawson continued to build a business. She continued to be active in her community, in which she served for over 50 years. She remains an inspiration to her church, to the business community, as well as civic communities she's a part of. Our Black History moment introduces and honor Ms. Sonja Lawson, who is on this Zoom call with us. And I want her to take time to speak. Ms. Lawson, and you can go by there. I didn't mention about the floral arrangements. I went in there, it's full service from one end of the building to the other, and everybody's working. And I wanted to pay homage to her for this organization, because if she had not had enough foresight to make this happen, we wouldn't have it. So I want to thank Ms. Lawson in the presence of the attendees. And Ms. Lawson, please say something, let us know, introduce yourself, and let us know all about who you are.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mapp. I really appreciate that. Happy evening, Thursday evening to all who is in attendance. I thank you once more and again, and it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this organization. I have enjoyed it over the years, and as I told my children, I'm going to get ready to retire pretty soon. But my son said, no. My daughter said, no. But anyway, I have enjoyed working with the community, and you all can come by. This is a full service. As Ms. Mapp Gail used to say, it's an enterprise. We do Anto, we do florists, we do taxes, body work, and dealership, rental cars. So it's an enterprise. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. Mapp. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Lawson. And Ms. Lawson, I tell you, the only thing the first time she ever heard us say this, I said, I'm gonna come by the office, I want to pick up some paperwork to talk about who you are. And she said, if it's raining, I won't be there. Now you know you're a worker and you have been in the game when you can say, if it's raining, I'm not going to be there. So kudos, she has helped me in as I navigated through this organization. I appreciate her very much, and it's just a way to say thank you for making history on behalf of the business owners. Thank you so much, Ms. Lawson.
Thank you so much for honoring me. I appreciate it.
Okay. And I want to get quickly into lightweight business, and then because I want to give our presenters as much time as needed to speak and take questions. I want to give you some updates on some things happening in the community as it relates to our businesses. Gail.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gail Mapp. I have information concerning a class action suit that was brought against the city of Atlanta. And it resulted in the city of Atlanta agreeing to pay out $19 million to commercial property owners. So if you are a commercial property owner and you have paid taxes between 2014 and 2021, then you are eligible for a refund of what they called solid waste fees. So on your tax bill, it was a solid waste fee, and it averaged around $2,000 for that fee. And that the city did absolutely nothing for commercial business owners to charge us that fee. Now, if you're a resident, they come by and they pick up, mattresses and sofas and, household items. But if you're a business, they demand that you have a dumpster.
Okay.
So they didn't do anything for this fee. And so that's how the class action suit started. And it was settled, and they decided on a $19 million amount to go for all of the commercial property owners that paid this tax. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on the website, the instructions as to what you need to do. You have to have the claim filled out by filled out and submitted by March 11. And it has a website you go to. And like I said, you add up all of the taxes between 2014 and 2021. And it'll give you instructions. We also, in this letter that we're going to post on our website, it'll give you, it's a website, COA, City of Atlanta Waste Fee Class Action Suit.com. And you can just click on that, and it'll give you the forms that you need to fill out and that sort of thing. And if you're having any problems, you can just shoot us an email at our email address. Any questions? Okay, so for the sake of time, like I said, we're just going to post it up on the website. And if you have any questions, just send us an email.
That's vital information.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. And we got to get it in there, because if you don't get it in, then you won't be able to claim that money. And if you paid $2,000 from 2014 to 2021, that's a lot of cheese.
Yes, yes, amen.
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, they said it depends on how many people put the claim in as to how they're going to spread the money out. But one thing that we do know, that it will not be charged to you going forward. So next year, we will not have to pay that fee. And hopefully we'll be able to get a refund for all of these years that we did pay.
Absolutely. That's good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we'll have those emails. Gail, you put the email in the chat for everyone, and for those who may be having some difficulties with going online. Even though when I say online, filling out paperwork, I get squeamish. So, but that's just me. But just make sure you have that in there. They can get to it if they have any questions. Thank you so much for that information, and take advantage of it, because you have dearly invested in it. So take advantage of that opportunity to get if not all your funds back that you have paid. I want to move right into the InvestAtlanta's presentation. Again, this is, you know, information that will benefit our businesses. And we're very blessed to have not just one, but two representatives to come before you and share this opportunity and initiative that's a part of InvestAtlanta. Gail, anyone want to introduce, or I'll just let them go? What's best? How you want to do that?
We don't need any formalities. I can introduce myself and also my colleague. So good evening, everyone. My name is Semira Ajani, and I am the Assistant Director for Westside Initiatives with InvestAtlanta. I've been on the team since June of last year, so I'm still fairly new to the ongoings, and you can only imagine how interesting it is to navigate, being that we're still operating mostly in a virtual space. All that to say is that I hope that in 2022, I will have the opportunity to be before you again in person and get to know your businesses and the things that are happening on the West Side, in the Donnelly Hallowell quarter, and wherever other areas on the North Side that this body is serving. So just quickly, I had the opportunity to meet Ms. Gail through some engagement around Atlanta Housing's initiative, their Choice Bowen Planning Grant. InvestAtlanta is partnered to do some economic development activities under that planning grant. And so we have been participating in working groups that started sometime last summer and kind of wrapped up at the end of the year last year. And on our last call, Ms. Matt was really making it a point to say, hey, we'd like to hear more about these resources and what's being put into this planning grant project, and just hear more about the availability of resources to businesses on the West Side. So I made the commitment to come to this meeting this evening. I reached out to some other folks in InvestAtlanta who I know have some great opportunities, and Ms. Sabrina said, hey, you know, we've been going around the city making these presentations to a number of business associations. We haven't had a chance to engage with the Northwest Business Association. So, you know, I'll join in too. So this is where we are today. So I'm going to start talking a little bit. I'm going to share my screen and share a presentation, just a few slides about some programs that are happening that impact the corridors on the West Side. And then I'm going to hand it over to Sabrina, and she'll share some things that are happening on our economic development team. So let me just grab this for 1 second. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit this evening, and it almost feels like, this might be a refresher to some, because I noticed on the call that we have some folks who have participated in our tax allocation district programs already. And some of you all have already reached out to me prior to this meeting, and we've had some discussions as well. I'm just going to say this is a refresher for some, new information for others, and everybody on the call is going to be responsible for sharing this with another person that can benefit from this information. So just a little bit about tax allocation districts to give everyone a sense of, what this program is, how it was created. It is a program that is started through some development authority powers or acts that were created through the state of Georgia, which gives city council the ability to establish tax allocation districts, also sometimes known as tax increment financing districts, that will catalyze development in designated underserved areas. And these funds are to be put to use for a public benefit. So how that financing works is that our taxing bodies, the City of Atlanta, Fulton County, and the Atlanta School Board, all agree to participate in a tax allocation district, whereby the tax base is frozen in the year that the TAD is created. And any incremental taxes that are collected from new development activities then create this pool of funds that are available to businesses and developers to complete, as I mentioned, catalytic investments in these communities. So the TAD districts are supported and determined. Our decisions on funding are supported and determined by the InvestAtlanta board, which is comprised of members of all those taxing bodies and other community members and other community leadership. And InvestAtlanta plays a financial management role. So part of my role as assistant director is to go out and hear what projects people can qualify for this funding, complete a review of the application, and make recommendations to the board. And this just shows the 10 districts that exist around the city. The 3 that are operating on the west side include Perry Bolton, West Side, and the Hallowell MLK TAD, which each have various programs operating inside of them. This is just a quick slide, and I will provide these slides after today's meeting, so you all have this as a reference. But it is important to know whether or not your property is inside of a tax allocation district. Oftentimes I get calls from people who are like, yeah, I've heard about this funding. My property is in the Hallowell corridor. And when I go to look up the address, I have to inform that person, well, sir or ma'am, your property, it may be in the corridor, but it is not one of those properties that is designated for special use in this tax allocation district. So there are, all that to say is that there are properties along Hallowell and the MLK corridor that may not qualify. So it is important before you consider funding to identify whether your property is within a TAD. That's easy to do. You can go to this URL here, gis.atlantagA.gov. This is the city's website that they manage. You can go and click on property information, type in your property address here, and it will show you your property in addition to telling you whether or not you are in an incentive zone. So it will tell you in this right-hand panel whether or not you are located in a tax allocation district, and it will list the tax allocation district in which your property is designated. The example I'm giving is just one from the Perry Bolton TAD. It may say MLK, if your property is on the west side or west side itself. Okay. So I'm going to go through programs because this is probably the most robust program we're operating now for the businesses in the Hallowell corridor, the Perry Bolton TAD. And then I'm also going to speak to the small business improvement program that's serving the Hallowell MLK corridor, but the requirements are the same. So you can definitely use that information to apply to that TAD as well. So currently in the Perry Bolton TAD, there is about $17.5 million that is available for funding. Some of the uses for those funds will include new and affordable housing. I see Mr. Dixon is on the call. He can definitely speak to how this program is serving his initiative. The reuse or redevelopment of vacant and blighted or obsolete business buildings that create new commercial activities. Some of you all may be familiar with Mr. Jonathan Leonard, who was recently funding. The picture displayed here is a rendering of the reconstruction that he will be completing at 2056 Donnelly Hallowell. For that use for medical facilities and new commercial space for small businesses in the neighborhood. And another use for the funds would be around developing new retail that provides goods and services or other amenities that contribute to living wage jobs within TAD. It's important to know that our funding through this particular program, the Resurgence program, not to be confused with the Resurgence program, which is also another program that Ms. Sabrina will talk about shortly, is gap financing and is to be contribute to redevelopment activities in the corridor or in the TAD. Funding is available to provide up to 25% of eligible development costs that do not exceed an amount of $750,000. And so what do you need to do to qualify for receiving gap financing through the Resurgence program? You must have a minimum total development cost of $100,000. So if you had $100,000 in a project cost, then this particular program would fund up to 25% of that cost, $25,000 of that project cost. So that also means that your financing would have to be multi-layered, including any contribution of equity that you as the owner or developer may provide, or any other financing that may be provided through a traditional lender. The project must also generate new property taxes. As I said, the TAD is a pool of funds that is created because when we get new property development, the tax base for that property, a tax rate for that property will increase. And the amount that is collected past the point where those taxes were frozen is what goes back into this pool of funds. So it's important to us to know that you are developing a project that will incrementally contribute to the TAD fund over a period of time. Any projects that are dealing with residential development should have a minimum of 3 for-sale units for nonprofit developers, and for all other developers, a minimum of, I'm sorry, I said 3. I'm not sure. I thought I might have said for rental, but for-sale units, and then all other developers, a minimum of 5 for-sale units. All developers who are creating affordable housing at rental units must complete 5 units. And so this is one of the major things that we're focused on with our TAD dollars is affordable housing. We all know and have heard extensively about the affordable housing crisis in the community. And you know, we've heard that the mayor pledged his 20,000 units under his administration. for developing new and affordable housing. So this is a tool that is available for developers who are willing and able to contribute to that, solving that problem, to be able to have access to capital. For commercial projects, anything that is greater than 5,000 square feet, we ask that those projects can contribute to reducing market rents by 20% to make those affordable rents for commercial spaces up to a period of 10 years. So that is our Resurgence Grant Program. Also within the Perry Bolton tab, we operate a smaller program, which I do believe Ms. Lawson and her business has been a recipient of. When I came on, I do believe my coworker Paige has been facilitating some closings around an award that was made to that business for small business improvement. So this program offers up to $20,000 for property and business owners towards eligible renovation costs. And 50% of those renovations should be to the exterior of the building. So exterior improvements can be anything like painting, lighting, windows, doors, signage, fencing, landscaping, and surface repairs. All those improvements have to be visible from the right of way. And then interior improvements include things such as flooring, walls, ceilings, HVAC systems, plumbing, electrical, and structural repairs. It's as I said, these dollars really go into hard costs, development costs, construction costs. There are at times soft costs such as architectural design, that fees and services that can be planned for as a part of this grant. However, that is capped at a 10%. So the requirement for any small business development small business improvement grant loan, you must have a space that is less than 15,000 square feet, a contribution of matching funds of 20%. And that could be cash, that could be some other form of equity. And you may have received a grant, another grant that can be used as your matching contribution, but that would be 20% of whatever your total development costs. So if you have $20,000, that would be a $4,000 match that's required for this particular program. You would need to provide evidence of site control, which is your tax bill or deed for the property. If you're leasing the space, you would just need to provide evidence that that property owner has given you permissions to make renovations to the building. And you must have a active business license inside of the city of Atlanta. And just quickly, MLK, the program is the same in the MLK corridor, the Small Business Improvement Grant. As I mentioned, I was kind of introduced to this association through the work that's happening around Bowen Choice. InvestAtlanta has made a commitment under the planning grant to expend $150,000 of its small business improvement grant funds. With those funds are available all the time, but we want to demonstrate that we have an investment in this project, and as a part of the program, HUD asked for leverage, and this is what we said we would come to do. So currently, we are hoping to do more outreach to the businesses in the Hallowell corridor, particularly those that are between Hollywood Boulevard, extending west to I-285. And for those properties, because we are looking to do something in partnership with Atlanta Housing Authority, we are looking for ways to provide some technical assistance from the Housing Authority, which will most likely be around identifying contractors. Atlanta Housing has a bench of contractors, and if you were to receive an award, they have committed to providing that assistance and pairing you with their bench of contractors, because at times it's also difficult to find people to do the work, especially in the contractors market that we're in right now, to do the work to complete the renovation. So that's something that they've said that they want to commit to. And I believe that's all the slides that I have. I have my contact information. I will share this presentation via email, and I'm going to, I'm not sure if we want to pause or if we want to roll into a presentation from Miss Sabrina, and then we can take questions all together. But that's all I have.
Thank you so much. Do you want any questions that you want to ask now before we go into that way? If they fresh, we can ask them now and answer them, and then we'll move into Ms. Wright presentation. Any questions?
I see. Ms. Jones asked if I can put it in the chat. I will try. Okay. I'll try.
Okay.
Thank you so
Hi,
much.
everyone. I guess I'll jump in, and we can still take questions at the end if you all have those, if you think about those, and you're more than welcome to put your questions in the chat, and we'll try to answer them as they arise as well. I'm Sabrina Wright. I'm the Assistant Director of Business Retention and Expansion and Workforce Programs at InvestAtlanta. I work with all the existing businesses in the city to assist you with whatever your needs are, whether it be expanding your business, assisting you with relocation, workforce development challenges, and things of that nature. Last year, I think I met Mr. Mapp during one of our business organization listening sessions that InvestAtlanta partnered with the City of Atlanta Planning Department as well as the Beltline. So we were trying to get some information out to all the leaders of all the associations about things that were upcoming for InvestAtlanta. And so I'm just happy to be back and present this information to you all tonight. Like Semira, I'm gonna share my screen if I can. Oh my gosh, let me try. Jeez Louise. Hold on, y'all, please bear with me, okay? Let me make sure I got it right. Okay, I think I might have it right. Can y'all see it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I make this go away? Okay. So InvestAtlanta, and this is a different, I know they're similar names, but this is different from what Semira was just presenting. InvestAtlanta will launch a resurgence grant to support small businesses. And this grant will start the grant will launch on March 1st. Applications are available right now. I'm sorry, applications will open March 1st, but right now we're starting to give webinars to all of our business associations, local businesses, and whoever is interested, just so that we can make sure everyone is aware that this is coming up, giving you all advance notice so that you can start to prepare for the grant. This grant will support those businesses that were impacted by the pandemic, by COVID-19 in any way. So if you are a business, either a small business in the city or a nonprofit in the city, and you were impacted by COVID, then you are eligible to receive this grant of up to $40,000. Again, this is a reimbursable grant, very similar to the Resurgence grant that InvestAtlanta launched at the beginning of the pandemic last year. But fortunately, we've been able to work out some of the kinks and mitigate some of the challenges that we saw last year, 2020, when the pandemic started. And, you know, because of course, no one was aware that that was going to happen. We were kind of figuring things out as we went. So now, since we have a little more time, we were able to iron out some things and streamline it a bit for you. So going into the eligibility for this grant, of course, just as Semira said, InvestAtlanta supports businesses located within the City of Atlanta only. So you must have a valid current City of Atlanta business license. One of the questions I frequently receive is, you know, hey, I have had a challenge getting my business license updated. I've tried, I paid for it, but the city is having a challenge. We acknowledge that. We are very much aware of that as well. If you have proof that you've paid for that, then that is, you know, you're more than welcome to share that as proof, because we acknowledge that there have been challenges with business license at the city. I think they had tried to address that and correct that problem. But just in case that is an issue, as long as you're able to show that you've paid for your 2022 business license, you are eligible. Also, as a business, you have to have fewer than 250 employees by December 31st of last year. And you have to state that you experienced some sort of hardship and that your business was impacted by COVID-19. This grant supports businesses that were impacted by COVID. And I'm sure that means just about everybody. What we're looking to do with this grant is to support businesses and provide funds for those who were not already receiving funds or who had not been reimbursed or received funds for specific expenses. For example, like I stated before, last year, InvestAtlanta had a resurgence grant. We're calling this kind of the resurgence 2.0. So if you received funds last year and you were required to submit receipts for what your expenses were, and let's say, for example, you were reimbursed for a chair that you bought, just an example, but you had other expenses that exceeded the amount of the grant, you are absolutely able to submit those other expenses. But you please don't submit those same expenses that you submitted last year. The nonprofits are also eligible for the grant, both, like I said, for-profit businesses and nonprofits. Again, City of Atlanta business license is kind of similar. Attest to your hardship, fewer than 250 employees, and also attest to not having received funds for the exact same expenses before. Some of our ineligible qualities for businesses are corporate-owned franchises. Again, we feel like those businesses are probably able to receive assistance elsewhere, than support. So we're looking to hone in on the locally owned businesses and local businesses in Atlanta. Of course, we're not supporting anything with illegal activity. We're unfortunately not able to support, businesses that gain most of their revenue for, of course, any adult entertainment and things like that, liquor stores and all of that. So also an important factor is if you previously defaulted on any City of Atlanta grant or loan or InvestAtlanta grant or loan, then you would be ineligible for this existing grant. Grant amounts. Grants, again, are up to $40,000. So this is up to $40,000. Again, it's a reimbursable grant. So that means that if your business was impacted by COVID and you spent money at your business, for example, if you're a restaurant and you had to purchase plexiglass to put in front of the cashier or dividers to put between the tables or whatever it is, and those things can vary from business to business. Whatever it is that you had to do to make your business stay afloat and thrive during COVID, please submit those receipts, payment, proof of payment for all of those expenses, and you can be reimbursed for those eligible expenses up to $40,000. So again, this is just talking about your receipts and your statement, and these are valid through March 3rd, starting from March 3rd, 2021 through current. So any expenses that you incurred starting March 3rd of last year, those are all eligible. If you have a doubt about whether your expense is eligible, please just submit your receipt. And like I said before, it is reimbursable, so we are requiring receipts. However, if you make online purchases, for example, if you purchase something on Amazon, send us a screenshot of your confirmation that you paid. If you don't have a real receipt, like you go into Walmart and you check out and you get a receipt, if it's something that like the screenshot or something like that, or your credit card statement, your bank statement, those are eligible receipts. Please just highlight that specific expense. Please don't have us going through all your bank statements looking for, little things like that. But just if you would highlight that, make it easier, that is so wonderful. And those are eligible. Those qualify as proof of payment. So this is just some more of the information: cancel checks, wire, credit card statement, bank statement, screenshots. The other things that are eligible, and this is really big, is your rent. If you are leasing a space and you paid rent during the pandemic, you weren't already reimbursed for that, your rent qualifies. Send us copies of your canceled checks or your bank statement or whatever it is. You must also submit a copy of your lease that shows your business name. That must match with your Secretary of State registration. I think I mentioned earlier that you must have your City of Atlanta business license, also your Secretary of State registration. So all of these things must have the same name so that we're, just be consistent across the board. But if you're able to show us a copy of your lease, a fully executed copy of your lease with your business name, location, everything is, matches up, then your rent payments are an eligible expense. Also, if you were able to maintain your staff during the pandemic, your payroll expenses are also eligible expenses. So let us see copies of your payroll expenses. That is an eligible expense this time. This is a change from last year. We did not reimburse for payroll last year, so this is new for this year. Oh, I'm sorry. If you are a home-based business, home-based businesses do qualify. However, we will not reimburse if you're paying mortgage. We're not going to pay people's mortgage, but if you're paying a commercial rent, then we'll reimburse you for that expense. Use of proceeds. So again, this is for expenses related to COVID. That's pretty much all this says. If you were required to close or just any other expense. And again, the expenses may vary based on your business. For example, I'll give you a quick example. There was a business last year, a restaurant that had to shift from a traditional restaurant they went to like warehousing. So they had to purchase shelving. You might not think that buying shelving is an eligible COVID expense, but they changed the format of their business so that they could stay open during COVID, and they had to buy shelving to store and house everything. That was a COVID related expense. It qualified. If you're a restaurant and you had to buy all of these to-go containers and everything because restaurants were shut down, you're only doing delivery and to-go, that is an eligible expense as well. So again, it will vary based upon your business. So again, if you're in question, if you're in doubt, just submit it and we'll decide if it's eligible or not. So again, machinery, equipment, all these things are pretty much just listing all of the different things that are eligible and how we like the funds to be used. And use of proceeds, same information. We're offering technical assistance as well. And that will start, I think there's going to be the city will launch a webinar about the technical assistance that will be available to businesses. So we'll be supporting businesses, and this is completely unrelated to the grant. But if you need assistance with marketing, HR, legal, different things like that, the city will be launching that assistance for businesses throughout various locations in the city. So you won't necessarily have to go downtown to the InvestAtlanta corporate office for that either. Compliance for the grant. We're just asking that you all agree to put forth your best effort to complete some community service, just something to give back to the community. All of this is about supporting the businesses of Atlanta, making Atlanta better. So we're just asking a commitment to do about 15 hours of community service. And also, if you would just, at the end of your grant, within a year of receiving your grant, submit a narrative to InvestAtlanta about how the grant was able to support your business. Just provide us a report to us, and you'll get that form that is needed to complete that grant agreement. I'm sorry, you'll receive that form to complete the narrative when you receive your grant agreement. And all of this is pretty redundant about, making sure that you haven't received the money before. It's COVID related expenses. Documentation is redundant as well. So your City of Atlanta business license, Secretary of State registration, driver's license, payroll deductions, save affidavit. Those are things that we ask for on all InvestAtlanta grants and loans. But again, this is a grant, meaning it does not have to be repaid. Does not have to be repaid. It's up to $40,000 for all businesses, nonprofit and for-profit. And that is about it. And I'm available. Oh, let me say this. Reviewing applications. We'll review applications as they're received. So we're not going to wait until the very end and have a whole pile of applications to review. So go ahead and get your application. Start getting your documents ready now if you know you want to apply, and get everything ready to go. As we receive applications, we'll review and approve in that order. That is it. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Any questions?
If I may add, Sabrina, and you can verify if this is true or not, but I was at a press conference earlier this week where the mayor spoke, and he was talking about the availability of funds for this program. So the total pool of funds, I believe he mentioned, was about $10 million, and that is estimated to support up to 2,500 businesses across the city. Would you say that's about correct?
I think that's correct. I think we got about 20, but we had, we're using funds for different
Some for
things.
other
So,
things,
yep,
yeah.
so you're absolutely right. Thank you for adding that. Thank you for adding it.
So don't be business number 2501 to submit your application is the message from Mayor Dickens. Don't be, get your applications in early. As she said, they'll be reviewing them as they come in. It won't be towards the end when the grant is closed. So just to kind of underscore the urgency around getting your applications in as soon as possible.
And submit everything. Last year, we were literally reviewing receipts one by one as staff. Now we've hired out some agency to assist us with all of that. But at the end, we still had money left over. And we literally picked up the phone and called people and said, do you have any more receipts? Do you have anything else to submit? Submit your receipts. Like I said, if you have a question, submit it. If it's not eligible, we'll tell you it's not. But if you're doubting, just submit it anyway. But please, it's kind of an honor system. If you've already been reimbursed or received funds for that, let's make room and support other businesses as well.
Any more questions? I do want to let you know, please take advantage of these initiatives and don't talk yourself out of the fact that you may not be eligible. You won't know until you apply. And I would welcome, or I probably could say that Miss Ajani and Miss Wright are ready to go to work.
Absolutely.
And we're right here as association, because they said some things, 941s, SOS, Secretary of State, business license, you saw save affidavits. Those things sound laborious, but trust me, there's enough of them in this organization that can help you through that. So don't feel embarrassed if you don't know, and don't talk yourself out of not making yourself available to take advantage of these opportunities doing the business. So if you have some other questions, the same information, email, let us know. We'll follow up with them. We'll have this presentation, and we look forward to allowing you as businesses to take advantage of this initiative. A lot of money is out there. And I heard them say they did this before, and they was asking people, do you have more receipts? Nobody wants to, it's a grant, let's take full advantage of it. Thank you so much, both of you. Any more comments?
Sabrina, you just put in the chat what I was gonna ask. Where can we go and find this information?
So that's the email address. You can email any questions you have. Our colleague Melody Eccles she's managing this program. And she has a staff underneath her working to manage the program with her. So that is the email address where they're receiving questions. And some people have sent questions directly to me. If I didn't know the answer, I would send it to that email address for her, and she answers them immediately. She'll answer as soon as she can. And so we're always here to answer any questions you have. If you have a doubt, again, don't hesitate to call us. We are always there, and we are more than willing to assist you or point you in the right direction. Like I said, we're going to have technical assistance providers on hand. So if you need help getting your documentation together, we can help you with all of those things. So please don't hesitate to call. Don't hesitate to reach out to the email address. I absolutely will share the presentation with you as well. And all this information is on the InvestAtlanta website. And so, yeah, you can find everything on the website. I still will post the presentation to you all. And but yeah, we have some of these presentations online as well that you can view that we've done previously. So yeah, we're more than ready and able to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will just reiterate. So, and I know you're recording, but for any other purposes, if you want to rehear the information, that website that Sabrina has mentioned, it also has a recording of the webinars that were done through InvestAtlanta. as well. And also to the same point that she's making, if you are interested in receiving either are interested in a resurgence grant or a small business improvement grant, please feel free to reach out to me directly. Sometimes my phone number doesn't work, but if you email me, then I will certainly give you a call back. And I'm here to help with all of those things as well, filling out the application, answering any questions, helping to identify how to collect your documentation that will need to be submitted for that application. We're hoping to continue to stay connected and look at other opportunities to possibly do some technical assistance in the community. I've been having some discussions with Grove Park Foundation, and they have mentioned you all as a strong partner with them. And so hopefully we'll be coordinating some other opportunities to do some in-person engagements that will help with the technical assistance side of filling out any of our applications.
Thank you.
I have a quick question. If you received the grant before, can you reapply?
So that is a good question. You can reapply. However, it is not likely that you can apply for the same building or property that you previously made improvements on, unless you can make a super compelling argument as to why you would need additional funds. We generally tend not to fund the same property more than once, or that's becoming more of the policy, is that we don't want to see the same project funded a second time.
The reason why I asked, because 20,000 in a commercial space doesn't go very far.
I do understand that, and particularly, as I said, you know, it's a contractor's market now, and they are certainly hiking up the prices on their fees. The raw materials are definitely more expensive, things of that nature. And so you do make a strong argument. So, you know, I will, you know, appeal to the powers that be around that particular question. But as I mentioned at the start of this presentation, all funding decisions go through our board of directors. And there is always opportunity to make your appeal to changes in our programs, make public comments at those meetings, to make them aware of the things that are challenging you as a constituent. I will say that those comments and remarks definitely do not go unheard and do influence the discussions that we have about how we are administering funds. So I would just encourage you to use that as a tool as well. But I will also, you know, talk to our team and discuss, you know, what may be possible for reapplication.
So, but you can apply for a different grant if you receive one grant, right?
If you have another property that you want to apply for, yes.
Like if you receive the first grant of property improvement, can you apply for the resurgence for lost fees from other sources?
Yes. Yeah, so I know that's really confusing, that the resurgence grant and the resurgence grant they're two very different things.
Okay.
You know, the things that I'm referring to are you know, specific to construction costs and development costs. You know, the things that Sabrina has shared are really around more your COVID relating expenses, operating expenses that you may have incurred as a result of COVID. And, you know, they are separate things. And through that particular program, you know, even if you receive funding through the first round, as she mentioned, you can still apply for funding again as this new round becomes available.
But not for the development.
Not for the TAD related funds. That is separate.
Okay.
Yes. I knew that was going to be very confusing when they launched.
It's not confusing. It's the fact that I received the 20,000. I had to also put another 16 to 20,000 to match the construction costs that I had to do. and I still have other things that I need to do. And it's really 20,000 will go fast, but I
Yes.
am thankful, and I received an award as well. I'm very thankful for that grant. I also have an InvestAtlanta loan.
Okay.
So I have had both. So
Yes,
don't
is this
get me
Ms.
wrong.
Marble?
That 20,000 was, I'm thankful.
Okay, Ms. Marble, we talked already. You could just call me. We could talk and see what else we could do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. As we come to a close, I appreciate your time. Two things I'm gonna ask of you. One is meaning the Northwest Business Association, really want to know your needs. So we have an online survey. Take time to do that. Ben, gonna give us some leadership on that. Ben.
Hi, everybody. Just want to let you know, I posted in the chat the link to the NWBA engagement survey. It only takes 5 minutes, but we're going to be using the survey results to help us develop future agenda items for our meetings. So we really would like the business owners to let us know how we can help you. And this will be a great way to build exciting meetings like this one going forward. So please take a few minutes, even right now. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. And then the last thing is appeal to you to make the Northwest Business Association become a member in this association. Kiona gonna give us a little highlight and a little leadership on our membership. Kiona, you still with us? Oh, I see.
I am. Thank you, Mr. Mapp. Hi, everyone. My name is Kiana, and I'm the Vice President of NWBA. And in order to become a member of this great dynamic association, I'll just go over a few things. We'll be talking about business funding throughout the year from organizations such as like SBA, InvestAtlanta, of course, Access to Capital for Entrepreneurs, which is ACE. Business growth, you can get support in marketing, expansion, social media, and how you can diversify your business. Business management will have accounting experts, operations, HR experts, legal consultants, and insurance. Business continuity and disaster recovery planning, life insurance, information technology, backing up your information or your networks. You'll be able to, I think, soon, hopefully, if it's approved, we'll be having a meet and greet, a networking social, so that we can meet and greet all the businesses within the Northwest Corridor. And also, we're a nonprofit 501c3, so you can lend your time to volunteer with the organization. And last but not least, we have 3 membership levels, which is bronze, silver, and gold. Bronze is $100, and that provide opportunities to gain exposure and brand awareness for your business on the website. The silver level is $250. Your logo and website link will be included in our in our monthly newsletter. And the gold membership, which is $1,000. I can't read my own writing. Oh, you be given an introduction at the beginning of our meeting, 3 minutes to do a pitch to us or the if individuals that are a part of our meeting, and to have your banner as a connecting point on the NWBA website. And I believe, I don't know how these funds can be paid, I guess over a year's time or one. I don't know. I'll let Mr. Mapp go back into that. And thank you so much.
The main thing is to get you a part of it. All of this is on the web. I think Ben posted that in the chat. And as we adjourn, I want to make sure that you, as business owners, support your local NPU. A lot of information goes through that NPU. We have 2 major officers. One, Ms. Reynolds, representing NPU G, and I saw Mr. Derrick represents NPU J, and a lot of businesses, developers come through those organizations. Our partnership has allowed them to point those organizations this way. And that's why I put that pitch, make sure you support, and that's another way to get your business out and in the community. So find out what your NPU is. Ms. Reynolds is G, and Mr. Green, Vice President of J, and get involved with your local NPUs. That concludes as far as our agenda is concerned. I look forward to you coming again in March. I look forward to you taking advantage of those surveys. I want to thank InvestAtlanta, not only for just making a presentation, but pouring themselves out so that we can use them, and they want to be used. So let's make sure we take full advantage of that. Ms. Wright.
Yes, pardon me for chiming in. I want to say I was trying to put the presentation in the chat, and I could not do it for whatever reason. So I did email it directly to both you and Gail, and I emailed the presentation to you. Feel free to share that, and I also put a link to the webpage in the chat for everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Gail.
Ben can talk more on how they can make the payments, because we are set up online to receive payments.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have a membership tab on our website, nwbusinessassociation.com, and it's a PayPal link, goes off to PayPal to make those memberships. We don't have it set up to do payment plans, but that could definitely, if that's needed, we can talk about integrating that into that PayPal page.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you for
just,
that reminder.
Just reach out. I would say if you need to pursue that, just reach out to info@nwbusinessassociation.com, and we can get you taken care of with an invoice. We could break it up with invoicing with PayPal.
Thank you, Ben. Again, Ms. Lawson, I know if you're still here, you had to go. Thank you so much for letting us be a part of history with you. I see she already busy back there. For the again, on behalf of the association, thank you for attending. Be on the lookout for our next meeting. Be on the lookout. We'll be looking out for you for your surveys. And hey, Ben, we had a chat in there about Cash App. Now that's way above my pay grade, so I'm gonna leave it with you. We'll answer that one too. Thank you for asking. I like when people say, look, I got this money, I'm ready for you to get it. And we will make ourselves available. Good to see you, Mr. Boston. We'll get to talk about all the business. Thank you again, Bryant, and all that attended. Again, thank you for InvestAtlanta for taking time with us. Ms. Reynolds, thank you. Derek, thank you. And I see Toya Johnson, we thank you. And Robbie, I know she had to go. You all have a great evening. Be on the lookout for our March meeting. Thank you so much. Meeting adjourned.
And don't forget, I'm
Thank you
sorry,
all.
and don't forget to go back to our website to get the information on the class action suit so that you can get those taxes back that you paid. Just a reminder, got to do it by the 11th of March.
That go Miss Lawson's lookalike right there.
You all have a good night.
Thank you. Y'all have a great night.
Thank you.